there's been a lot of drama in Zimbabwean football. We saw the Sports and Recreation Commission suspending the Zifa board. What are your thoughts with regards to this development?
It's a bit unfortunate that it ended up that way, but to me, Sports and Recreation Commission were left with no option but to do the correct thing, to correct such imbalances. So I think it's a fair judgment to me, which will not help us now, but in the long run, it will give us the much needed benefits.
Many are caught up in the fear that Zimbabwe will not be participating at the Africa Cup of Nations to be hosted by Cameroon in January. Can you just break down the possibilities in regards to maybe FIFA regarding what the SRC did as government interference?
Obviously, it's a pain, especially to the youngsters, the footballers themselves, and other stakeholders, that we won't be participating, and the chances are very high that FIFA will actually come hard on us and give us a ban, which I think it's coming anytime soon. But if you look at it, it's a blessing in disguise that we'll take the same opportunity to put our house in order and make sure that we have the responsible authorities with the required expertise, qualifications, and even the moral obligation of the side that they should be doing the correct thing for the benefit of the nation. So I think it's something that we cannot cry over for too much, but I believe that it's a blessing.
And then just looking at developments with regards to countries that have taken the same route that Zimbabwe has taken. We have seen Cameroon, a similar situation arose. In Ghana, similar situation arose following match fixing and corruption issues. But interestingly, governments of those nations then worked with FIFA with regards to installing normalization committees, hence wiggling their way out of the scenario where they would be inflicted with bans. Would you say that this is a similar route that the Sports and Recreation Commission ought to be taking in as far as maybe consulting FIFA and CAF regarding the developments that are transpiring in Zimbabwe?
It's a fact. It's not in dispute that we can run away from engagements. Engagements with FIFA and CAF remains vital, in the sense that these are the custodians of the football laws, and they are governing authorities, and this is treated as a separate entity. You know, football rules, laws, and whatever are not mixed with any other laws, so we cannot do it alone. But as soon as we receive the ban, which may or may not come, whether it came or not, it come or not, we still have to engage those people so that they see where the SRC is coming from. Why did they do that? For what reason? And then they'll table their issues to them and say, look, these are the anomalies we are trying to fix, and we have been engaging these people. And for my knowledge, I was deeply involved even from outside. I know how often Zifa was being engaged by SRC to say, please, can you correct these imbalances? Can you correct these issues? So many times, but without giving proper accountability, even to the public funds, which they got. Let's talk of the recent Egypt, was it CAF or whatever tournament? It's not in dispute. It's a public knowledge that they indeed receive funding, but they should account for every cent. Did they? If they have that, they can show the public to say, look, yes, we did that, right? They've got an obligation under SRC Act, because it's a national association, to submit themselves to SRC, not SRC to Zifa, but to SRC, where they give their books of accounts to say, look, this is how we've been operating, this is how we've been doing our things transparently. Where there are issues, then SRC will come on board and say, look, can you do it this way? So that they actually assisted. But when people are like gatekeepers who cannot allow anyone to poke his nose into their affairs, banking on the fact that they're untouchables. Obviously, SRC will be forced to act the way they did. But obviously, I understand that as professionals also, they will sell the same idea to FIFA, to CAF, to whoever, and say, look, these are the reasons, and we want these things corrected. This is what I think.
And could this be perhaps the reason why there's been a bit of a delay in terms of naming temporary or caretaker board committee at the Zimbabwe Football Association? Because if you look at Chad, they dissolved their board, but in the moment they named that normalization committee is when FIFA stepped in and said, no, inflicting a ban on you. At the moment in Zimbabwe, there seems to be a vacuum. There was the announcement the day before yesterday. Today, the SRC pronounced that they were dismissing rumors about them doing a U-turn with regards to the decision that they made. But now, there seems to be a vacuum. Could this be the reason that they're trying to maybe engage these key stakeholders so as to avoid Zimbabwe being banned?
If you look at it, we've got a similar precedence when they did that for Zimbabwe cricket, where they suspended the board and renamed a caretaker committee. That's when ICC quickly came in and said, look, we are banning you. So I'm sure they've learned and to do the correct way. So in this scenario, I am so sure that they are trying to engage those people to say, look, this is what we are doing. If there is a committee to be named, it has to be named in consultation with FIFA, in consultation with CAF, even if it means to get a member or members from FIFA who will be seconded to come and supervise or monitor the process. Let it be. It happened to Zimbabwe cricket. I'm sure a certain financial person was forwarded to a man that portfolio of finance, and it happened very well. And right now we've got Zimbabwe cricket up and running. So I believe that this is the reason why they are delaying such a process of naming people or rushing to name people. And consultation in Zimbabwe is very big. They need to make sure that they consult every stakeholder who has got interest to say, well, this is the committee that we are naming. Do they have potential? Do they have capacity? Do they have passion and time to do it, to make sure that it's done properly and professionally?